Okay, welcome again to Hey Lady, You Call Him Dr. Jones, a podcast edition of Run the Jewels. It is Friday. Maybe I should say it's Friday because that lets the viewers know that we're not doing anything right now. Um,
It's like first thing
unfortunately,
in the morning, I'm so tired, need coffee.
yeah, just had these hot takes I had to get off our chest.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, Jake and I are here, as always, as you can tell, to talk about the latest in trailer drops this spring. There's been quite a flurry of activity, and maybe that's because Batman v Superman is out of the way and everybody can kind of let their stuff loose going into either the summer or the fall, or the very recent spring, if we're talking about TV. Um, so we got one, two, three, four, five things to potentially talk about, and Jake and I will do our best to give insight on reactions to all of these movie projects and one TV project coming up. Um, so I know that you hadn't seen the this trailer that you just took a look at, and we just talked briefly off pod. So we'll start with this. Harry Potter's or not Harry Potter's, but in the world of
J.K.
fant-
Rowling's fan
J.K.
or
Yes, J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, you just saw it for the first time, so why don't you just kind of riff off cuff, I guess, and tell us what you think?
Sure. First of all, love Harry Potter. I One of the biggest things that I like in my life is Harry Potter. Grew up with it. I used to go at midnight to Barnes and Noble to get the books as they came out, the night they came out, all that, fun stuff. So I'm fully Harry Potter nerd. When I heard this was coming out, I wasn't thrilled because the movies kind of let me down as they got going. The first two were awesome, and then Prisoner of Azkaban, which was my favorite book, uh, was my least favorite movie, and it just kind of the curtain got pulled back, and I was just disillusioned to the whole movie making thing
Mm.
for books to movies. So not a huge excitement from me going in. And as we get closer to it, I realize it's going to be completely separate story. It's not going to have anything to do with those characters that I knew, that anyone knows, except for Newt Scamander, who uh, is one of the authors of one of their school books, which is actually, I think, awesome because it's like so deep cuts that like no the what's the word I'm looking for, the common everyday
Like bandwagon fan or
the
casual fan?
bandwagon yeah, like
Like me,
there's a
casual fan. Yeah.
the casual fan, that's the word I'm looking for,
Mhm.
isn't gonna care or know really necessarily where that's coming from, but it's a nice nod. I didn't know if it was going to be strong enough to carry a full movie, but now that I see the trailer, I think it is. Cool things that I liked in it were obviously America. Love America. Who doesn't? Anything with America is cool in my book. An argument that I have with some of my other friends regularly is that Hogwarts is a nonsense school. Sure, they teach you how to use magic, but once you graduate, you're not set up for any type of job or anything unless you want to open up a small shop in an alley or work for some nonsense government. So it's going to be cool to see adult wizards that aren't working for the Ministry of Magic and that aren't working on Diagon Alley,
Mhm.
doing something with their lives. So that'll be fun. And then Mike Alves can shut his damn mouth and realize that Harry Potter's fucking awesome. Sorry, I got that off my chest. And I love Colin Farrell, so I'm in for that
Mm.
too.
Mm. Okay, part of your points lead me to questions I have that I was going to bring up. And first of all, nonsense school that sets you up for no sort of life. I feel like we know a little something about that coming up through the American college process.
Yes.
So I feel like we would be right at home with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Colin Farrell, yeah, like that a lot. I like him in there. I was worried he was gonna like stick out, because nobody in the Harry Potter movies was actually like real full-on famous, maybe like Alan Rickman. Other than
Maggie
that,
Smith.
Maggie Smith. Okay, yeah, fair.
What was the
But
girl's name who played Trelawney too?
oh, is she famous?
Roberts, something Roberts, Julia Roberts, not
Hmm.
Julia Roberts,
Not Julia Roberts.
not Julia Roberts, Emma Roberts, Emma. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. You're
I'm
right.
not sure.
Okay, you're right. I'm wrong. I get it. It happens. Don't have to
That's
gloat.
not my goal. I'm just,
Emma Thompson
um,
is her name. Her name is Emma Thompson. Never mind. She's not that
yes,
famous, I guess.
1,000% right. No, no, no. That's no, that's an oversight. No, you're very right.
They hid her. They hid her well under all that hair and those thick glasses.
Totally forgot about that. Yeah, but she is definitely Emma Thompson. Yeah, but first, seemingly, well, Colin Farrell, I think, is Irish, but he is virtually American in everything he does, and
Mhm.
so having him in the movie was going to be a test in my mind to see if he would really blend in. But he's terrific in everything he does, even that horrible monstrosity of a Detective season 2, which was not his fault.
No,
Um,
I liked him in it. He was one of the high points, I thought.
yeah, he's a very skilled actor.
One of the only high points.
Yeah, God Christ. And if you're interested in our takes on that, go back in my video history. We've got a lot of True Detective season 2 content. Um, but so my big question was, you mentioned Hogwarts. Are they going to be potentially in trouble with this movie without having a Hogwarts backdrop slash setting? Because to me, a lot of the fun is watching them be in that school and like learn how to. Well, I mean, they're learning how to grow up like maybe 25% of the time, and the rest of the 75 is like chasing the MacGuffin of that movie, which is fine. It's good. It's it works the way it's set up. I'm not hating on it. I think it's a smart play, but uh, is there going to be a missing element with these movies because there is no Hogwarts?
Okay, first question is there movies? There's going to be multiple of these?
Oh, I
Are
would
they
assume
going to
so.
make Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Why would they not? Um I say my first reaction to that question is no, but then the voice in the back of my head says obviously yes. They're going to be hurt by the no Hogwarts. I think they will definitely reference and show Hogwarts at some points. I mean, even in the trailer, they said you got kicked out of your old school.
Hmm.
They name dropped Dumbledore, and we know that you know he's gonna make it through everything, and then he's gonna write a book, and they're gonna use that book at school from then on. So he might. I think it's got its own. I think it's gonna be able to move on its own legs. Um, but I also think that just being attached to Harry Potter is going to hurt it because I guess not hurt it. I mean, I just think people will think like I thought originally and say we don't need any more of this. We beat it to death at this point, and new content. I don't know if it's necessary. I don't know. Yeah, I'm
So,
just a pessimist.
so you think like the more they separate themselves away from Harry Potter, the better chance they have?
I think so. I
Mm.
think. I mean, I'd like to say that because you're in the same universe, but it's obviously years and year hundred. I don't know. I don't know how many years ahead. Well, it's supposed to be turn of the century, right? So that's at least 100 years ahead of where we're at now.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's like
prior to.
yeah, it's I think the 1920s.
Okay, so yeah,
So it's like
um,
Jay Gatsby stuff.
yeah. So that should be cool. I think if they focus more on that and less on, they won't focus at all on the Harry Potter story because why would they? And it's
No,
nothing to
yeah.
do with this story. It just happens to be magic. I think that'll help it because a lot of people didn't like who. What am I talking about? Everyone liked Harry Potter. I'm an idiot, dude. It's been a long week.
Um, yeah, the reason why I was worried about it was I'm trying to remember through um the movies, and I'm trying to remember like scenes. I guess the seventh is they're totally not at Hogwarts, right? They're not even there at all.
the beginning, the first movie of the seven, like the Deathly Hallows Part 1 is when they're like on the run and they're not at Hogwarts at all. I think it might be for like a scene.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Okay.
in the second part is when they go back and they have the Battle of Hogwarts, which was so underwhelming.
Yeah. Um, I think part of my weird thinking about this was I remember reading, not all of them, I should say, to be fair to the purists, didn't read all of them. I think I read up through 5. And when I read the scenes where they were like in the wizarding world, but not in Hogwarts, I thought those were some of the most compelling. But then when I watched them in the movie, I thought they were sort of the most boring and the most like, why aren't we at Hogwarts type of feel.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, part of why I was kind of concerned if there is no like, grounding mechanism of a wizarding institution for us to kind of play with. Is it going to be like a totally different feel, and our fans going to be like, I don't know what this is. You really need to like show Harvard as its Hogwarts version or something.
Maybe is that where you think where all the wizards in America are gonna
That'd be cool if they're all in Cambridge.
Harvard instead of Yale? Should be in
Um,
downtown New Haven fighting against gangs.
just getting a slice and
Yeah, getting the
fighting.
slice and getting indoors.
um, yeah.
Actually, well, thinking about it, I'm trying to think of how this plot is gonna go. I've been doing this trying to like lately, based on trailers, trying to piece the trailers together in some sort of context. They say Dumbledore was a fan of this kid's before he got expelled, and he seems to have some sort of mission. So maybe the movie starts in Hogwarts. Maybe it starts on familiar ground.
Yeah.
You see it. You see him getting expelled. Then you see Dumbledore saying, "Listen, you've got a talent for this, this, and this. You love, care for magical creatures with Professor Who's Her Fuck, and you are going to go to America and find the magical creatures that we haven't done here, and then send him on his way." And that might be how they start it, so that you can get those the people who are like you said, like the people who just want to see Hogwarts and who don't.
Maybe he's not kicked out of Hogwarts. Maybe he's like a double agent sent by Dumbledore.
Maybe.
I don't know, but I do like it's going to be all about the creatures and the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Admittedly, because I was like that kid who grew up watching National Geographic and like was really into like wild animals. So I'm into this sort of a storyline, which some people I'm sure are laughing at. But I also think it might play well with the current public because and we're going to talk about this property in a little bit. What do some of the the major fan bases of Game of Thrones really clamor after? And it's the dragons. So
True.
people just want to see like dragons, hanging out, doing shit, eating shit, killing shit.
Yep.
So maybe like they're trying to capture some of that fervor for that material with this. So I'm pretty into it, and I think I'm talking myself into it as I talk about this too.
Yeah, same. And like as we're talking about it too, I'm trying to think of the reasons I didn't like the movies as much. And like you pointed out, the scenes in the books where they're in the world but they're not at Hogwarts are great, and then when the movies they just kind of fall flat. A lot of the stuff that I loved about the books, other than the continuity and all the callbacks and shit, was when they find ways to confound Muggles and just hide shit from Muggles. And like in that trailer, he had the Muggle safety on the on his briefcase, which is full of dangerous creatures. That stuff plays really well for me. Like I like when they can confundo, and then the guy's like, "Bleh." Like I think that would be those kind of jokes hit real home for me. So those like the World Cup in Goblet of Fire. There's all kinds of stuff in that about Muggle deterrence in the book that you don't really see in the movie, but hopefully they'll put that kind of stuff in here. Anyway, you look like you want to burst at the seams to say something.
Yeah, I want to just say that I'm not sure how much this has been discussed, and maybe it's been discussed all the time, but those books seem to be like racist towards Muggles.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Well, well, hold on. The Death Eaters are racist toward Muggles.
Yeah, but
You're saying everybody is.
everybody seems to be like.
No, you just gotta hide the magic from Muggles. Muggles can't handle that shit, dude.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's racist to hide the magic from them because, of course, whatever you let us normal folk go about the rest of our lives. But like the idea of like a mudblood being like such a horrible thing to be, or like a squib. Isn't a squib like
A
a
squib is,
non-magical person?
yeah, born into a magical family.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So it's
like
just like
Filch
very.
was a,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the whatever, the janitor
caretaker.
guy.
Yeah, the
Um,
janitor.
and, I just feel like there's a lot of like angst against Muggles, and it was reinforced again with this trailer. And I don't think it was like mean or racist to like switch off, the contraband version of the briefcase. I just was having that thought that like Muggles are really discriminated against in these properties. Um,
I don't think you're wrong. I actually read a really good article. I don't remember where. It's probably like a BuzzFeed or something, but it was like somebody pointed out all the racism and stuff that they do, because she does cram a lot of like that kind of tension into these books with the Muggles and the Wizards and the purebloods and all that shit. It let a whole generation like experience racism from such a like outside and objective view, where it's not like, oh, we don't like, you know, Asians and Mexicans and Irish people. We are, this people or that people. It's magic people versus Muggles. So we get to look at that objectively and be like, that's fucked up. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Hmm.
And then you can, make the correlations and the connections to your own life and hopefully grow from them and not side with the wrong side on that issue. But
True, because they do, or she does do a good job at making sure people who are beating the drum and beating their chest about being pure blood are like the most douchey characters in the books /
right,
movies.
right.
So like you intuitively learn pretty quick, like anybody who acts like that is an asshole.
Exactly. It's like, and
So
it's catharsis, because then when you see someone being like, "Oh, we shouldn't give jobs to foreigners," you're like, "Shut up, you idiot!
yeah,
You read
yeah,
Harry Potter."
yeah. Shut up, Malfoy. Christ.
Yeah, shut up,
Uh,
Malfoy. Growing up, Dursley, you old prune. Oh, sorry.
Donald
Oh,
Trump, you fucking Malfoy hack.
Dudley Dursley grown up.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's a good point. Maybe he secretly is. Um, I think we just exploded the internet. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
also, the last thing I wanted to say was the fact that the guy asked if he had any livestock in his briefcase was
True,
troubling.
true.
Are you carrying any sir? You see me? I'm holding this like, 2.5 foot by 3 foot, not even briefcase. There, of course, is no cattle in here.
Yeah. Well, the joke is, of course, there is cattle in there.
Yeah, of course.
Why would he be asking that? Like,
But yeah,
that's such a good point. Why would he ask that?
and it would make sense if he was like of the wizarding world, but he's
Right. Just some muggle
Somebody
thinks he's
should
going to
know
cram
that.
a cow into there.
So strange. And
idiot.
all we have to do is like, how easy is it to get in 1920s America if all you have to do is like state your name and like open up your bag? I mean,
So easy, dude.
we go through more stuff to go to like a Yankees or a Red Sox game. It's
True, but then again, 9/11 didn't happen, and
true.
never mind. We're not going to get into this.
True. Dark. Any last thoughts?
No, I'm down. I'm down to see Wizard Duels. I'm down to see magical creatures fuck shit up, and I'm down to see a period piece. I'm down to see like, maybe they ride the Titanic there. Oh no, I guess it wouldn't be the Titanic because it's maiden voyage. It's
A
sunk.
little too late, yeah.
What if they rewrite history and say in Harry Potter's universe it makes it because the wizards save it? That would be pretty sweet. All we need is one wizard on the Titanic, and it saves thousands, hundreds of lives.
Or how about like Jack was a wizard and he
shit.
like pretended to fall to the bottom of the sea, and he actually that was like an illusion, and
Wow.
he's saving the ship the entire time. I mean, these are just thoughts, but
Okay.
I don't know. All right, cool.
Okay.
I
Okay.
strangely talked myself into this.
Strangely, have you strangely talked yourself into a segue of some strange sort?
I think I have strangely talked our way into a couple strange takes, or maybe not so strange takes, on the new trailer that came out for Marvel's Doctor Strange.
Ah,
So I know this is like your wheelhouse. This is a property that you've been waiting patiently for, and now it is on the horizon, very soon to be here. So I'm gonna kick it to you again if you want to just kind of kick us off on that discussion.
I actually wanted to hear if you don't mind going first
Oh,
this time.
okay,
Take
that's
the
fine.
home team, bottom of the order, bottom
Sure,
of the
sure.
eight. I mean,
So, I was rewatching it before this, and what one thing I did like, it's very hard to do teasers, and this is what this was, the first footage of a teaser without like giving away too much plot or like, you know, you don't want to give away too much 6 months before you see the movie. This is more than 6 months? Yeah, more than
it's
six
coming
months.
to
Yeah,
8 months.
when the movie comes out, which I mean, P.S. Don't tell Star Wars that because they don't give a shit. But
They don't
it's
care. Same
the
company.
they,
Oh, you're saying don't tell
but
WB, don't tell Warner Brothers that because that's their whole game plan. Let's just show them
like
the movie in the
releasing
trailers.
things or releasing something. I'm specifically saying like releasing something a long time before the movie comes out.
Ah, yes.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
so strategically, you don't want to, give away the whole. Obviously, you don't want to give away the whole movie ever, but certainly not with several months to go. So I thought it was very cool to watch them do. The narrative of the trailer was basically convincing Stephen Strange that this whole magic thing, other realm narrative was real. And I thought it was a clever way to introduce the audience to him because you're looking at like a skeptic, Stephen Strange, who's got one foot in his old life and he's entering this new life, and then you see him kind of be convinced by the Ancient One, and I thought it was a smart way to do a teaser. So I like that. I really like Tilda Swinton. I really like that glimpse of Rachel McAdams. I really like Chiwetel Ejiofor. I really like the shots of Mads Mikkelsen, and I think the cast is going to be um, probably one of the better casts that's put together this whole year in any movie. I'm trying to think of. I mean, I don't really count Civil War because that was like contractually obligated. Everybody had to show up for this. This is like a new movie with nothing really building into this that would obligate actors to be there. This is just a good collection of people. So I'm really excited about that. I feel good about. I feel coming off of not feeling good about Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent, Boston accent in Black Mass. I feel pretty good about his American accent as Stephen Strange.
Hmm.
So
I
for
haven't
me,
seen Black Mass.
oh, interesting. He
Is
plays
that
Billy
any good?
Bulger.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know the Billy Bulger story. Is it great?
yeah, it's good. The movie's good.
Okay,
Um,
I'll watch that. I wanted to, I just never did. I didn't know he did a Boston accent in that because that was one of my points was about his accent.
okay, his accent is horrible in Black Mass. It
Okay.
physically pains me, and I've been
Well,
on
being such a
record saying,
connoisseur of the Boston accent,
right,
it's gotta be like nails in a chalkboard when someone doesn't get it fucking just right.
right. If you're gonna have a speech impediment, you got to do it correctly. So
A geographically influenced speech impediment.
I think that was established on the very pilot episode.
First, I was just gonna say you got to go back and like link all the Boston
Talk about deep cuts.
shit talking we do about Boston people. I think it was just uneducated. Is that what you said?
Oh, right. Okay, yes, yes. I definitely said I sound uneducated. And
Put you in a hole. You start off. Okay. Anyway.
set the bar low, Anyway, so I really liked Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One specifically because she got the most shine. Um, and I don't know a lot. I don't have a lot of takes off of this. It feels very Inception-y, which is the most obvious take. And I'm down for the next trailer. The next trailer is going to be the real one to educate the public. This was just an intro, so and hearing you and another one of our friends talk about the potential of where this could go, not only for its own movie but for the greater plan for Marvel, I think it's going to be a very important movie.
Agreed.
So I liked it. I liked it.
Awesome. I mean, I can't agree more with almost everything you said. Actually, everything you said say. Few things that really got me going. So, like, Doctor Strange is one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Mm-hmm.
He's so bad. He's so badass. He's so badass that he doesn't even want it. He doesn't even. He chooses not to take part in the Civil War because he's like, I could stop this whole fight with a thought, so I can't participate. Because it's so good, so good. So watching Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One kind of punch his astral form out of his body, I like let out a little like yeep of joy because I was like, because that's a big thing, and the whole like this is only one plane of existence, and you've spent your life trying to save lives, but all these lives only exist on one reality, and he's going to explore some more. So I mean, Nick, our other friend Nick, has been pushing hard that Doctor Strange be the one who finds or helps Hank Pym find his wife in the quantum realm, which could very well happen. Could very well happen. I don't know. Potential spoilers. We're just speculating. I was a huge fan of his accent when I heard his accent because I've only ever seen him in, Sherlock's The Desolation of Smog, Darkness, Star Trek Into Darkness. So I was really pumped when I heard his voice. The imagery of his hands, so that's his big thing, and I don't want to like get into like details about Doctor Strange's history and stuff, but like obviously he's a world-class surgeon, he's the best surgeon in the world, and like his like hands through the water stuff when he was like scrubbing in, and then his like hands in the gloves, and then the imagery of the pins and needles in his hands because they're broken from the car accident. That really, really damages his psyche, and it really messes with him, and he goes down a really dark path at that point. And I just love that they are just really hitting that home right from the teaser on, because that's going to be a huge point in this movie, I think. The fact that it's an origin story and it just is unapologetically an origin story. It's just like the closer, like the best, like the ending selling point of this trailer is the teach me and then credit and then like titles. And oh God, I cannot wait to watch him get taught because it's going to be great. I like the contrast shots, I call them. So like, kind of the montage shots of, it showed him in his suit looking out his window, and then like pre-accident and then post-accident with his hand against the window, like a little disheveled. Like it shows him where he was and his kind of arrogant, pompous, like, posture, and then kind of more humbled after he can no longer do what he's, great at. Obviously the cast is sweet. The genre is going to be something completely new. It's going to be unlike any other Marvel movie. And we were talking about this briefly with our friends. If you look at phase 2 and even phase 1 to some extent, not so much phase 1, but phase 2 of the Marvel, movies, they all kind of had their own genre and their own flavor, which made them, separate from each other, though they share a universe. Guardians of the Galaxy, very fun, but like a space opera. You get Civil War, Winter Soldier, which was like a spy thriller. You get Ant-Man, which is the heist movie. You get Iron Man 3, which is just, the Iron Man movie, which is kind of a genre of its own at this point.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the mechanic movie. So this is going to be like, I think Inception meets The Matrix meets like a watered down version of the Nick, because I'm obsessed with the Nick right now. And I know you know that. And he could be a modern day John Thackeray. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, so this is going to end. This is also going to, I mean, Civil War is going to set the tone, but this is going to be the first actual standalone movie of phase 3. So, so it's going to really get the ball rolling toward, what else we're going to get to see from, Black Panther to the next Spider-Man, which we don't need to talk about, to Inhumans, to Captain Marvel, all that. So I'm looking forward to seeing those, tonal changes and everything. We might get an Infinity Stone in this movie.
I think we have to, right? That was
We
going to
don't
be a point.
necessarily have to. We could. We could. We don't necessarily have to because there's plenty of movies we could from now until Judgment Day. I assume one's going to be in Guardians 2 and one's going to be in either Thor or the Captain Marvel movie.
Okay, yeah. Thor, yeah. I was going to say candidates for the stones, I would say, are Strange. Ragnarok is a good, Thor Ragnarok is a good choice too.
Just
And then,
because he
sorry.
knows about them. He's already looking. Now he knows that people are looking for them.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, so maybe not. I thought like there would have to be, just with the
It's
subject
logical.
material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's logical. Maybe
Um,
the Eye of Agamotto. So the Eye of Agamotto is the thing, is his little trinket. Um,
Not excited for this at all.
oh no, I'm so bummed this is happening. Maybe there's an Infinity Stone in that. That could be. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's about it. I mean, fucking down. So down.
So down.
So
Well,
down.
cool. All right. Well, we'll go from one Disney property to another, and talk about Rogue One, which could be arguably the biggest one of this list. And so we saw Rogue One. I'll start, I guess, this time and say I liked it overall. I liked the amount of information they let loose. I did not like the opening cliche with reading of the rap sheet. I'm out on like reading your rap sheet for the main character to use it as a device to introduce the main character, like state your name type of thing, and talk about you've done this, you've done that, you've done that. I mean, I think the best thing that we saw do that recently was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep, I was gonna say.
And we don't need to be doing it with this. And I thought that was kind of a weaker point, but semantics, splitting hairs. Ben Mendelsohn is awesome, and I think, and this is no new news to you that I'm obsessed with the villains always and forever. But I think they're really going to be terrific in this. If the villains are Ben Mendelsohn, Mads Mikkelsen, and then hopefully Darth Vader, I want to watch the main characters lose. If that's the case, I want to watch them be crushed by the villains. We didn't get to see any Darth Vader. I'm wondering.
I wouldn't show him in a trailer if I were them.
Right, I wouldn't show it either. But I'm wondering.
But they probably will. But I wouldn't. Sorry.
I didn't look this up before, and to see if Mads Mikkelsen has an assigned who he's playing. But I'm wondering if there would be some world where Mads is playing Vader. I think that can easily be answered. Easily, not a word.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting. I don't know. You have Mads Mikkelsen. Why would you put him under the mask?
Because of his just like stature and his.
I guess, but like you're losing part of most of his not his most of his appeal. His acting ability is awesome, but his facial expressions, he can convey a lot with that face. Like,
well, maybe he takes off the helmet sometimes. And we just
I don't want him to take off the helmet.
Just accept a recasting. I don't know.
Make him be like. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Okay,
anyway.
Maybe he is Darth Vader.
Yeah, I don't know. But Ben Mendelsohn in his enormous cloak, pretty great. And his, he doesn't have to do anything, and he's just basically walking across a wasteland of dead stormtroopers, and just it looks great. And what was I going to say also about this? I'm really happy that Gareth Edwards is doing it. I think some of the shots they gave us in this first bit of footage were terrific. You got to see, and this point has been made on the internet before, but it should be noted that you got to see what it would be like if you're running along the ground with the Rogue One crew and that Rebel fleet, you get to see what they would be dealing with against an AT-AT that's shooting at you, which is a great shot. And there was like another great shot when one of those carrier ships, like the top of it explodes.
Oh, the Star Destroyer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy that Gareth Edwards is doing this. I think this could potentially, maybe not, but there is a weird argument that could be made that there's more pressure on this movie than there was The Force Awakens, because this lives in the mythology of the originals. Like, this is the event that happened just before A New Hope. So, and I heard and listened to a lot of people say that they were so excited about it because it was cut from the same exact cloth of the originals, which are the most important to people. So I'm wondering if their chances for success are greater because there will be a lot of excitement in that regard, but also could there be more at stake? Because if you don't nail this, it will look strange.
Yeah.
So those just were some preliminary thoughts.
Agreed. Interesting question. Is there more pressure on this or on Force Awakens? I'm going to say, obviously, my initial response is going to be no. There was more pressure on the Force Awakens because that's reopening the door. And while I mean it obviously was the highest grossing movie of all time, and all the records it broke, it still had its problems, and people are not short to point them out. And I think it was good enough that the problems are more like, oh yeah, we can poke fun at them than be like, that's why this movie sucked. The thing I like about this idea about the Star Wars, like a Star Wars story, like the Star Wars universe movies.
Yeah.
So Kevin Smith said on a podcast recently, because these take place, the new trilogy takes place after Jedi, that makes all of the Star Wars movies prequels at this point.
I heard that today because I heard Landis talking about that.
Yeah. When he was talking about it, I remembered it. But technically, so this is a prequel to the original trilogy, and I feel like this is the type of prequel that we deserved at the time. To quote The Dark Knight, this is the type of prequel we deserved, not the type we got. But I think that this is going to be sweet. And one of my favorite things was the old, like the Empire design, not the New Order, not the Clone War design. And the Empire design is the original, is the best, is like the classic Stormtrooper is always going to be one of the most intimidating looking faceless drone soldiers that you can ever have. There were some cool new designs too. Like you saw the shiny black desert troopers, probably shock troopers of some sort. And I think that's going to be cool. And I think it's going to be cool to see what else you get to see other than like an AT-AT or an ATST or, the TIE fighters and stuff in terms of like ships and weaponry. Yeah. We have the technology now to really explore those. The team diversity I liked and I didn't like. We've already talked about one of these points, which I'll bring up again, but I loved this shot of the Asian dude, beating the hell out of the stormtroopers with a stick or with a staff.
Yeah, Dong Yen, yeah.
Yeah, he looks awesome. And you guys got to bear with me. I'm all for gender equality, 100%. Love equality of all sorts and types and shit. But we already got female Luke Skywalker. We're about to get female Han Solo. Do we need female Han Solo for this movie? And is it even chronologically relevant? I think it would be more what's the word I'm looking for? It would be more accurate or more
apropos or
appropriate. Apropos, I guess would be a douchey way to say that. No, just to keep with the times of the original trilogy and say like back then, like even in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we were still fighting the gender inequality battle, and it took the Empire falling for it to actually take hold. And Rey is the first. Leia was the first, but Rey is the second to take up that mantle. But
But
now,
we were belittling Leia by calling her princess, and
well, she was the princess of a planet, so and that's technically it's her title. Um, yeah, but you're right. Princess has become a belittling word. I don't know how or why. Um, but yeah, I don't need snarky, snarky badass tomboy girl leading the charge, because no military leader in her right mind is going to put that girl in charge of an operation of this magnitude.
right, and that's the real crux of it too, because when they read her rap sheet, they'd be like, "Oh, by the way, you're perfect to, lead the charge against our most important mission ever."
Yeah, by the way, if you fail, we all die. And no movies. Nope. Everybody dies. Never ending darkness in the galaxy. So, yeah, let's give it to this girl. She's never really proven herself.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, okay. So that was my big thing. The main character's losing you, like your point about being all about the villains. As historically, we know most, if not all of these people die,
Mm.
give their lives to get these Death Star plans. So I'm going to Game of Thrones this and say, don't get attached to any of these characters because they all potentially could die, which I love because that creates stakes. Like the
Yeah.
throwaway line in A New Hope creates stakes for this movie. And the AT-AT obviously awesome, and also just watching the Death Star being built was also awesome. And I'm going to stop talking now.
No, I agree. I think it's weird that we know the outcome before the
True.
movie. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's an um, interesting device that we're gonna have to deal with and be fine with because everybody's gonna watch no matter what. But um, it's funny that this doesn't it won't be slowed down by the fact that everybody knows the outcome.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. But anyway,
Actually, while you're hold on, we don't actually know if any of these, because are these Bothams? Are the people in the Rogue One squadron all Bothams? Because technically, what she says is the Botham spies who gave their lives to recover these Death Star plans. The girl seems human. The Asian dude seems human. Most of them seem so. Maybe there's a second team. Maybe none of them die. I don't know. Sorry.
oh, that's
I'm
true.
just
Yeah,
thinking
because
out loud.
that's true. Maybe
Rogue 2 might be made up of all Bothams, and they all get killed.
yeah, I don't know. But I will just say one last thing I do like is that they tease this a little bit, the setting up of like the building of the team, like the Ocean's 11 montage. I hope that would be in there. Of like Magnificent Seven bringing people together,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. So I can't imagine that wouldn't be. So I'm looking forward to that being in there, which I hope it is. Okay. So let's talk about another bringing together of a group ensemble. Just digging for a segue there, and I luckily found one.
No, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, stuck the landing.
An ensemble, a squad of sorts.
A squad, if you will. I mean, if you allow us,
A squad of rogues.
squad of rogues. Yes, very basically Batman's rogue gallery of villains. All right, let's just fucking spit it out. So we're talking about the new Suicide Squad trailer.
Tricked you.
Yeah, tricked you if you couldn't tell. So I went first on the last couple. So do you have any initial burning thoughts on the
Yes.
new Blitz trailer?
100% yes. I loved the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer. Thought it was a beautiful work of art. I didn't know about the whole marketing campaign awards that you showed me, that you introduced me to. But I even said like they should create an Oscar category just for
Yes, you
trailers.
did.
because that trailer was beautiful, and I was like, no, they shouldn't even give out another one because how could they live up to it? They came out with a second trailer, and it blew it out of the. It didn't blow it out of the water, but it was even better than the first trailer, I thought.
Mhm.
Um, I loved that it starts off with Superman and that whole debate. They're keeping that going, even if you didn't see Batman v Superman. Um, if you're any sort of comic movie fan at this point, Civil War's coming. You might have watched Daredevil. I mean, this whole moral debate has been everywhere, and it will be everywhere for the rest of the year. Um, so that starting off with that is pretty cool, and then getting into it, there was more Harley. I love Harley Quinn. Wonder
I think
Woman is
she's gonna be
Harley
a standout.
Quinn. Yeah. I loved Will Smith. I loved seeing him kind of in his more in his element, being funny, being quippy, being him. Because him trying to be something other than himself would ruin it for me. Like I want to see Men in Black Will Smith. I want to see Independence Day Will Smith. I want to see um I Am Legend Will Smith a little bit.
Fresh Prince, yeah.
Fresh Prince. Yeah, yeah, totally. um and I'm kind of getting sold more on the supernatural guys in the squad because it's not King Shark, it's Killer Croc, right?
Killer
In there.
Croc,
Yeah, Killer Croc and the fireman.
Pyro, or no, Diablo. His name is.
Okay, fireman and Diablo. I mean, Diablo and Killer Croc. I'm like, how are they going to fit into this? Squad. It's going to be campy. It's going to be cheesy, and it still might be. But this trailer really made me excited to see them, and I just think, God. Okay, so then it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for it. I like that we're going to see Batman. I know we knew we were going to see Batman from the set photos, but we're actually going to see him, and it looks like at least either two separate scenes or a long encompassing chase scene, a long like city-wide encompassing chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he's on the car, he's diving into the water, he is jumping off the building, I think it was. And it looks like he's saving a woman. It could be Harley he's saving, or she could have betrayed the team and joined up with the Joker. I'm still not sure on that either. Like, if is the Joker the thing they're going to stop, or is he just messing with them
That
because
was my question. Yeah, like,
that's what he does?
is Joker the antagonist, and like Batman is also trying to stop what's going on? So they kind of the team, the squad, crosses paths with Bruce
Mm,
Wayne.
could be. Um, could be that. I also heard an interesting thing that the witch, the woman possessed by the witch, might not be on the team. She might be what they're trying to stop.
Oh, interesting.
Her
Yeah, you
and
literally never see her with the team.
yeah, I don't know if you do or not, but I don't know. So maybe that's just maybe she's just she joins the team, or maybe she's what the Joker's. Maybe she's who the Joker's trying to torment. I don't know. But he looked awesome, dude. He looked so cool. That shot with half of his
Joker.
face is all bloody, and he's talking in the business. Oh God, I'm so excited for his Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I
Um,
think the last thing I want to say before you do is the dead shot shooting the gun, and then the liquor at the end. Dead shot when they're doing the kind of like letting them out in the firing range. It looks like, or in the some sort of a courtyard area. And Deadshot just like machine pistol like shoots through the same hole that he shot through. Like that's fucking sweet, dude. And then when they're all drinking at the bar, and then the guy asks for water, and she's like, "That's a good idea, honey." I thought that was awesome. It's a great way to end it. It's like the perfect for the tone that they're trying to set. It's so great.
yeah. The first thing I wrote down was the bar scene on my little notes here because I thought that the bar scene is like you've arrived at they're on their mission or whatever the helicarrier or whatever that they're in crashes and they probably fight their way into that abandoned bar. Maybe it's like in the middle of chaos and they're like, whatever, we're gonna do what we want. We're gonna like there's an abandoned bar here. We're just gonna like shoot the shit for maybe 40 minutes before we head back out there, because they can do what they want because they're a bunch of bad guys. So I like the bar scene a lot. I thought if there's a lot of elements like that in the movie, that they're in very good shape. Um, what other things? So the opening scene, right? The who would have stopped him point that one of the government officials is making. At first, I wrote this down before you gave your take, and that was going to be my problems with it, because who would have stopped him? It's not these guys. They wouldn't have stopped him. Um, but
True.
the obvious answer is the Justice League. Um, but
So true.
if you think about it, if you think about it, the Justice League would never agree to work for the government, probably. Um, Part of why we're having civil war with Marvel. So if you assume that the government would never have a chance to utilize the Justice League, what do they have? Nothing except for prisoners that they have under their control. So like this is the best way that they can assemble like a task force of metahuman powered people, whatever, people with skills. And now I kind of don't mind it that it's like a misguided government's way of trying to gain some sort of an upper hand or like level a playing field, a playing field that they will never be able to kind of level. So I almost like the idea of like buffoonery, like Pentagon people thinking like, yeah, we'll bring all these guys into the fold and they'll work for us and they're expendable, so it's fine, and have that kind of be a solution to anything.
Mhm.
I hope it goes horribly wrong. I think they're probably planning on it going horribly wrong in the movie. Um, so that element that I hated, now I actually kind of weirdly like. So kudos on the Jedi mind trickery. Um, and what are some of the other things I wrote? I wrote that I'm very happy about the Batman appearance. I think it's a good way to kind of bring this movie into the rest of the universe in a natural way. Like if they're going after the Joker, let's assume, which could be wrong, but if they're going after the Joker, it would make sense that Batman is also going after the Joker in his own way. So I like that we're kind of going after that, um, head first, and really addressing that. So I think that's an interesting idea. And then yeah, you mentioned Killer Croc, and I'm very interested to see like what they do with this person, because it's the one of the it's the hardest sell, I think, in my mind for the team, because everybody's like either a human or a human with powers for the most part. And this guy is just like some strange giant human hybrid crocodile monster. So I think the way they execute him will be one of the more interesting things that I'll keep my eye on, to see how they do it. Like, will they make him like a bad guy Hulk, who doesn't talk much and is just like a destroyer of worlds, or will they make him like a weird, uh, like like a mean Groot, and have him like be a comedic element at times, like a darkly comedic element? So, long story short, I'm interested in seeing what Killer Croc will do. Also, we don't know what the fuck he does either right now. Like based on the footage, we've
Right.
seen everybody else kind of exercise what they can do. We haven't seen what that character does. So, I'm interested in that. Um, I don't know if you have any counters to those points, but
Well, I was just thinking, like, if we look at the evidence and we look at history, based on Batman v Superman, and we didn't know what Lex Luthor was going to be like, Killer Croc is probably going to be a lot like the Joker and the Riddler put together. So they're probably going to have
yeah.
him spazzing out like he's on way too much Adderall and like asking a bunch of questions. No, I'm just kidding. We do see them get wet. Like there's a lot of shots of them wet, and he's a crocodile, so maybe he's going to eat someone in the water and save them. I assume there's going to be at least one shot of a bad guy henchman getting pulled into the water and then red coming up to signify that he died.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
actually be a little disappointed if there isn't
right.
at least one, because that's a trope they need to admit. Amanda Waller too. I'm excited to see how they utilize her, because she's not the buffoonery government official that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Though she's surrounded by them, she's a no nonsense badass bitch, head bitch in charge. And her team of government spooks might be idiots, but she certainly isn't. So I'm interested to see that.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, this movie's gonna be fucking great. What was one more thing you said that I wanted to counter, but I don't remember? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you got it.
Shit. Yeah. There's an animated Suicide Squad. It's called Batman Assault on Arkham. It's the animation is a little anime-y, just in its style, but the actual story is awesome. And anyone who wants to, watch the Suicide Squad or get some Suicide Squad back info before this movie comes out, highly recommend you watch it. I
Mm.
loved it. I absolutely loved it. That's just what I got to say.
Okay. All right. So last but not least, we're going to talk about the most the thing that will get here quickest. Game of Thrones. The last final trailer for season 6 of Game of Thrones came out, and boy, was it a big one! There's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm just gonna give you. I think one of my favorite things was the fact that we're gonna see Jaime Lannister going back to full on Kingslayer um, in this new season, because seemingly we leave off his daughter dies basically in his arms on that ship heading back to King's Landing, um, and whether or not he goes back to Dorne to rectify that issue, it seems like no. It seems like he just continues on to King's Landing to regroup, and I'm excited to watch him be like, I don't feel any sort of conscious, weird Brienne of Tarth mind trickery anymore. Now I'm back to being, I'm going to destroy my enemies like Lannisters do, as Cersei reminds us in the trailer. So I'm excited. I was pumped to see him go up against what's that guy's name? The Red Sparrow? No, the High Sparrow. The
Yeah,
High Sparrow, and he goes like, "You'd spill blood in this holy place," and Jamie's like, "I don't give a fuck." Like the gods,
I
gods do way
literally
worse.
fucked my sister and killed my old king. Yeah, I'll do
Yeah,
whatever I want whenever I want.
right. So I'm down for being back to that Jamie, and I think the King's Landing stuff will get hopefully more interesting, because frankly, last year I wasn't that interested in the King's Landing narrative. So, which is strange because it's the capital of the realm. So, I'm into that. It seems like Tyrion is going to be a little bit challenged for control over Marine. Him and Varys are going to have to hold down the fort, which I'm super excited about.
Yup.
Because any scenario where we get to watch those two speak back and forth is just gold. And I'm still very interested to understand what Varys's overall scheme is. It might be gone. Maybe he has no more scheme, and maybe he's just like, I was always really loyal to the one true lineage, which is the Targaryens. So maybe he was always really trying to get back to Daenerys. So there could be no scheme, but there might still be a scheme, and I'm interested to see if that shows itself a little bit with him. Other things, I'm going to try to go quick. Vengeful Sansa, seemingly in military garb. I'm about that. She has like the Stark stuff back on, and she looks like, I heard somebody else say this, that she looks like she's wearing her hair the same way that her mother did.
Ooh.
So, little InStyle magazine take version there. But if they're trying to make her imagery look like, Catelyn Stark and caring about like I don't know, exacting revenge. And she says as much, Sansa does. She's like remembering the Red Wedding. It flashes back to that. So I'm interested to see kind of a in a show that really devalues women, and there's no real debate about that. Um, we could see potentially Arya and Sansa be the two characters that kind of exact revenge for the Starks, because we were thinking it was going to be Rob, or we thought it was going to be Jon Snow for a little while, but no, it could actually be Sansa and Arya in their own different ways, which is interesting. Then a couple other things I really liked. Seeing the Targaryen knight kick some ass. There's like a random knight who's just like battling people, and he's got the Targaryen imagery on his chest plate. I think that's interesting. I think that means we're in for a major, major flashback, which I've talked about before. So I'm stoked about that, especially if it's Rhaegar. Um, and then appearance of recasting the Three-Eyed Raven to Max von Sydow. Are you serious? That's fucking awesome,
dude. Yeah.
So seeing him in the trailer, I was pumped for, because if we get to see Bran and Max von Sydow like have some fireside chats, I'm into that.
Yeah.
And then obviously it'll be great. It looks like the White Walkers are going to make an assault on the wall, which I think is what we kind of expected anyway. So that'll be interesting. But one of the biggest things, and this is my last thing, is Davos strangely seems to be the savior of the realm, which is I'm very into, because he seems to be of the only level-headed type of person in the scenario of this season. And we see him defending Jon, and then we see him saying the real war is about to begin between the living and the dead. And he's saying that in, like, I looked at it, his surroundings, it looks like this big hall or like this big manor or something. So he could be somewhere in Winterfell. He could be all the way as far south as King's Landing. So he looks to be getting around, spreading the word, trying to draft people to take up the same battle that Stannis decided to, and come help and fight at the wall. So those are my takeaways.
Awesome takeaways. Love it. I, as you may have heard from me in the past, am this close.
Yes,
this close to being done with Game of Thrones. Hold on one second. Sorry. So sorry. Yeah, this close. When Jon Snow went down, I broke my one rule and got attached to him. But this trailer saved it, because this trailer got me so pumped for this season of Game of Thrones. Just so pumped. I didn't even think of how much I love the Tyrion and Varys banter until you just said it. But like, that was what drove, I think, season 3 and 4 was that
big parts of, certainly when Tyrion was the king's hand.
That's the best scenes, like those, and then the Queen of Roses and Tywin Lannister. Those were great scenes too. I get those back though. So I'm not gonna have that many specific takeaways from this. Just general. Seeing Bran, I think Bran is gonna be obviously the key to everything. I'm really hoping that we see him warg a dragon to fight the White Walkers. I've been hoping this for years, and I don't think I'm alone in that. Max von Sydow, huge get. I got so pumped too when I saw that. I was like, Davos is the man, the Onion Knight. He always just gets shit done. He's always the guy. He's your go-to guy. For some reason, I mean, you send him to the bank. You send him to your enemies. You send him to the Red Woman. You send him everywhere. And he will find the right thing to say. He's the best salesman I've ever seen. Hopefully I can emulate him in my life. One thing, I don't know if it was this trailer or the last trailer that came out. The Red Woman Melisandre,
Melisandre.
saying everything I saw was a lie. Watching her lose hope like that, or seeing her lose hope like that, or lose faith like that, I don't know what that's going to do to Stannis. He might end up killing her because
Stannis is dead.
Stannis is dead. Stannis
Remember?
is dead. I forgot Stannis was dead. Um, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Fuck Melisandre. I'm sick of her. I didn't want to see his daughter. Okay, you know what? I totally forgot that. I just lost all credibility
No,
for
no, no,
this
not
whole
at all.
conversation.
No,
Um,
what you just said raised a good point that I hadn't thought about. We see her say like everything I thought was going to happen was a lie, or everything I know is a lie, and we're at least the fan theory we're banking on her bringing John back to life. So maybe she's like, I can't do that. Like I can't
yeah,
do anything. I thought I could do things. I can't do them,
yeah.
and we have to do it some other way. Or maybe he doesn't come back, but we're pretty sure he does. Um,
But he doesn't have to come back as a good guy, guys. He could come back as like a lieutenant in the White Walker's army. I don't think anyone's giving that any thought because he could be the new big bad.
and Davos is the new savior of the realm.
Well, he could try. I like that it looks like they're sending him on recruiting trips because that's your recruiter. You send him to every town, and he gets your guy. Like I don't remember the guy's name from season 1 who was doing the recruiting trips for the Wall and ended up taking Arya.
Mm.
Remember that guy with the curly black hair? Doesn't matter. And he ended up going with
Yeah.
Tyrion. Yeah. But yeah, Jaime Lannister seeing I didn't even process that the Targaryen night could be a flashback. I just thought it was somebody like reliving their glory days. That could be sweet. And if it's
The
Rhaegar,
one thing I want.
yeah, that whole L plus N equals J. I mean, L plus R equals J.
I don't like I care about that, but I just really am so interested in Rhaegar for some reason. Just from like people talking about him and everything throughout the series, I'm like, that's a compelling character. I'd really like to see. It's like Jaime Lannister if he was better and he was like a good person, but it
Yeah,
was wedged in between of being like a good person and also having a crazy fucking father. Um, and also just being a badass. And I think there's a lot that could be done there. And it kind of muddies the water too, because like Targaryens are supposed to be bad. Like Daenerys isn't bad, but she was basically raised by other people.
right.
'Cause she was a baby when they got her out. Um, so I think it muddies the water a little bit and makes you kind of question Ned Stark a little bit and question. Oh, we already questioned, Bobby Baratheon. He was a fucking
Bobby
great.
B.
But
Bobby B liked the wine, but hey,
and the whores and the
and
hunting.
the horrors. But one thing. So at the end of last season, I was just like irate with the whole situation last season. So I was like pissed when I saw Danny get stranded and then get surrounded by the Dothraki horde. Um,
Me too.
awesome we get because that's just all it's doing is delaying her inevitable trip west and
And it
getting
looks like
back
we're
to
hitting
Westeros.
reset.
Yeah,
We're,
it literally you're hitting reset and you're going, let's get her back to where she started. Now she's changed and let's watch her do it again, but this time knowing what she knows. I don't need that at all. Um,
Great. Hard pass.
hard pass, hard pass. I'll take the pass if we get to see more of Tyrion and Varys, but let's just have them find her by like episode 2 or 3. Can we just get past
Yeah.
that, please? Because
Get
there's no
across.
way, she's gonna talk her way out of that. No way. Yeah, you remember, Khal Drago? Yeah, our best call ever that you got killed. Yeah, she name drops him. She's just gonna fuck herself.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I don't know. The dragons are cool. I love dragons. You love dragons. Everyone loves dragons. And that's about it. Arya. I'm interested to see what happens with Arya because is she going to stay? You think she's going to stay blind and
No,
just turn into Daredevil, or do you think she's going to get
I
her
think
sight back?
yeah, I think she'll get it back. I think she'll like do some really difficult, I don't know, character defining task and she will find a way, or like somebody will come along and like help her get it back. I don't think she'll stay blind,
Mm.
but it would be a weird device for them to use, but it wouldn't be the weirdest thing I think that's
Wouldn't be
happened
the
in the
weirdest
show.
thing, no. I feel
So
like the only way she gets her sight back is if she fully commits to the faceless god, which I don't think she's capable of doing. She
revenge.
is already. She wants who she is, and I'm interested to see what happens. They got my interest back, and kudos to them for that.
I the way that Arya's storyline would satisfy me would be if she basically, like, if this is kind of sadistic, but if she uses them for like their training, and then she just cleans house and like kills
Yeah,
them
yeah.
all.
That's what I'm hoping. That
Okay.
was her plan from the beginning. I think.
Yeah,
All
I
she
mean,
wanted was to learn how to kill people.
I think she owes a debt to Jack and Hajar, but I think maybe she's could be becoming disillusioned with him and be like, "Fuck this guy! Like,
Yeah.
teach me all you know, so that I can like basically kill you, meet up with Daenerys, get back over the narrow sea, and go like."
Oh, you think she's gonna hook up with Danny?
I mean, they're on the same continent, and
Oh
I
shit.
think she
Or
could.
Tyrion too.
Yeah, right. So I think we need to connect these characters sooner rather than later. So I think by the end of the season, she knows and is hanging with Tyrion and Daenerys. And then maybe she's like, this like super spy for the Danny regime. And she tells Danny, like, the only thing I want to do is go there and kill the most important people that are part of the establishment. And Danny's like, cool, done. I don't care about them. I don't care about killing them myself. Just go, erase those people.
Yeah, get it done.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see her in the like vault of faces, and then come across like the Stark Pillar and like all of her family, and like put on one of their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Like to see her wear like her mother's face or something, or like to see her wear.
I love this. What you're doing right now.
Yeah, I don't know what to do, but like to
Like she wears
exact
her
some
father's
revenge on
face.
somebody. Yeah, to wear her father's face and like be him for a minute. Like
Not
that would be
even
sweet.
like when she's wearing it when she gets over there.
Shit, yeah. What if she takes him with him? What if she takes them with her
And
like goes
gets
to what's
killed
his
by
face?
like she kills Cersei as Ned.
Yeah, that would be fucking sick, dude.
Oh man, that would be great. That's awesome.
Oh shit, he goes, oh shit. Yeah, that would be sweet. That's what I want to see.
That's dope.
Or it could be a situation where she goes down there. More realistically, she could always take all the faces with her. That'd be sweet. But like, she could go down there and then see John's face on the wall and be like, I can't be here anymore. My whole family's dead. I have to go back. And then she takes a couple faces for her pocketbook and dips out. She can still do both.
I feel like we don't know how that face thing works. I feel like she could just learn how to change her appearance to some of her family members, and without having to take like a Santa Claus duffel bag full of, corpse heads. So,
but it's just the faces. They're flat. You can stack them.
Oh, true. You could probably fit in a nice North Face backpack or something. I don't know.
Or like a Fantastical Beasts briefcase. Yes,
very true. Bring it full circle.
Full circle.
Wow, I don't think we can do much better than that. So, April 25th or 24th, one of those two. Go look it up. It's literally everywhere. Find out when it comes out if you give a shit. I'm glad that you do again, Jake, because it makes for more fun for me.
Yeah.
But this was good. We got through a lot of things. It's a little late, but big surprise. So I will have to cut it off here. Any last words from you?
Balderdash.
It's a good one. It's a good.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah. I can't. Anyway, bye. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend.
Call him Dr. Jones.
make sure you call him Dr. Jones because it's disrespectful otherwise.
Yeah, he went to fucking graduate school.
Yeah, like me. Not a doctor, though. See ya, guys. Bye. Rambling. See ya.
Bye.